स्पॉटलाइट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट अमीता। Join me weekly as I chat with inspiring guests who will share their success stories with us. बांसुरी शायद दुनिया की सबसे सरल म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट, पर इसमें से जो सुर निकलता है वो है सिंपली mesmerizing। आज है हमारे स्टूडियो में वो कलाकार जिन्होंने बांसुरी से मैजिक क्रिएट किया है और बन गए हैं यूट्यूब सेंसेशन। I welcome to the studio flute hypnosia उर्फ साहिल खान। Hi Sahil.
Hi Amitha, how are you?
I'm good. It's exciting to have you here today. I have known you since the time you did the collaboration on Pani Da Rang cover.
Yes.
Yes, that's where I first heard you. But since then, I've followed you on Sahil Bansuri, right?
Correct, yes.
Man, you are gifted, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
तो बताइए हमें कि ये पैशन कब और कैसे शुरू हुआ?
Oh, good Lord. It's a big story, but I'm going to actually cut it short.
कोई बात नहीं, time है.
Time है, okay, that's amazing. So basically it goes back 19, 20 years, right? I started back in high school in India. And तो वहाँ पे जो high school में I was in a convent school, तो वहाँ पे army marching band होता है.
Yeah, मैं यही कहने वाली थी, like almost like a very strict lifestyle.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
very strict, exactly. You know, it's like a marching band and this and that, the other. So I became kind of the leader of that marching band in that school, in my St. Peter's Academy in Patiala. तो वहाँ से I picked up flute, was one of the instruments. That was part of the band, and you know, I started playing one song, सोचेंगे तुम्हें प्यार करें कि नहीं. You know, that was my first song ever on the flute. And you know, उस वक्त scale भी change नहीं करने आते थे. You know, so I just played the whole song on one scale. Sounded very odd, to be very frank. But then, you know, slowly and you know, gradually, my father, Dr. Hussain Khan, you know, he actually bought me a side flute as birthday gift. तो उस पे थोड़ा सा start किया, and then he actually taught me how to blow into the flute and create the octaves, which was a really what do you call it, a quantum leap in terms of my playing style and my ability to actually carry with the instrument itself. And that's it. I mean, उसके बाद फिर then you know, I started playing at the studios. You know, as you said earlier on, you know, the flute is such an instrument, as beautiful an instrument it is, you know, बजाने वाले इनको बहुत नहीं है. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of players. मैं यही कहने वाली थी, तो it's something unique. Exactly. So then I started playing in studios, you know, and started learning from people who had been in studios for a very long time. So there was that corrective action. You know, हम लोग दिन में सुबह start करते थे और शाम तक जो है 8 घंटे में 8 गाने जो हैं उस टाइम पे रिकॉर्ड हो जाते थे.
जैसे कहते हैं कि practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect, exactly. And there were a lot of, you know, subject matter experts, if you would, you know, जो हमेशा पीछे कहते थे कि, you know, साहिल ये नहीं ऐसा करो, इसको ऐसा नहीं, ये वाला सुर लगाओ, you know. So even though instrument wasn't there, but they knew how the instrument should sound. So that allowed me to actually really, you know, clean up my playing style and develop a style, if you would, right? So yeah, and it just continued from there on.
Amazing. Yeah. लेकिन I feel like it was already an inborn talent in you. जैसे कि आपने कहा कि marching band में शुरू किया, but I'm sure you had to have something innate for that to have played out that way.
You know what, that is very true, and thanks goes to once again my father, my family rather.
I was just going to say उसके बारे में कुछ elaborate करें कि आपकी genetics में थी music.
Exactly, no, for sure. You know, music was at home.
Okay, so dad was a singer, player.
He was a singer and a player. He's a professional tabla player, and he sings very well as well. He writes. He's a poet. He does a lot of his own poetry as well in that. So it was all at home. So music was never an alien concept. It was at home, you know, you'd come home and my dad would be doing something, you know, or he would be performing somewhere, you know. I mean, by profession, he's a PhD doctorate in psychology.
Wow.
Yeah, but however, you know, at the same time, you know, he had that whole left-right brain thing going on, and he supported that, right? So
Nice.
it never felt alien to come home and pick up my instrument and play for hours without being interrupted, or, you know, rather it was a corrective thing. You know, my dad will come up to me and be like, you know, yeah, this sounds good, or you should try this, or you should try that, right? So it was genetic, and even if I was to go to my grandfather, from what I've heard from my dad, you know, he used to write poetry and sing and all of that. So yeah, it was kind of innate in terms of my upbringing and in my home.
So ye flute hypnosia.
Yeah.
How did that name come to be?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's hypnosia is basically, as you know, hypnotic, hypnosia, right?
Okay.
The instrument
yes.
itself, or not the instrument, but the concept of being hypnotized, right? So we had just released our first cover, a trio cover, Akash Gandhi, Jonita and I, right? That was Ye Hausla. The first cover that we released. तो उसके बाद मैंने realize किया कि भाई सब लोगों के पास जो है, you know, एक like page है, you know, that is their window to the outside world. So at that point I thought, you know what, this is the time that I should also have a like page, you know, so that I'm able to actually connect with the outside people, or my fans for that matter, right? Folks that who like to follow me. तो उस time में मैंने सोचा कि भाई brand name क्या होना चाहिए? You know, Sahil Bansuri, you know, it didn't rhyme, right? So then I said, you know what, flute and then hypnosia is something that I could combine and carry that on as my brand. And the name, brand, and the like page for that matter, and the handle for that matter, you know, from the social media aspect was born.
Coming back to your collaborations with some amazing artists. आपने कहा कि आपकी dad है आपकी पहले mentor.
Definitely.
But through this collaboration that you've done with various artists, how has that been?
Nothing but amazing. You know, hindsight, you know, things are always amazing. I mean, you know, people can argue, but for me, genuinely, it has been an amazing experience. The people that I've had the opportunity to work with, both online or offline, in person or otherwise, you know, it's just been amazing. You know,
जैसे कि आपने कहा कि Jonita Gandhi.
Exactly, Jonita Gandhi and Akash Gandhi, right? So Akash Gandhi and I mean, that's perhaps the most prominent of the collaborations that I've been part of in the last recent past, right? 2 से 3 साल roughly. So you know, 2011 February, you know, I released this small snippet of me recording flute on a random sample, a looped sample, you know, out of my small home studio in St. Catharines, and I start recording, and Akash basically emailed me, and he said, you know what, I really like that track. By the way, check out this track. It's called Creative Process, Part 1. Online on my channel, and basically that was the inception of this whole collaboration. So Akash Gandhi emailed me, and then and sure enough, you know, a lot of people approach you who want to work with you, right? But often what happens is the wish and will is there, but the preparation is not there. Akash, obviously, you know, his work and his work ethic speaks for itself. He had a track laid out. He said, you know, today, he said, Monday, he said, you know what, let's get together and we'll collaborate online. We won't meet, but we'll just collaborate online from Florida and you from St. Catharines or Toronto, and let's release something. Next day morning, I had the track in my in my email. Excuse me. And in the evening, I recorded the track. Next day, we recorded the video. The 4th day, the video was out.
Wow.
So it was such a fluid process that we thought that it was working, right? And it worked well, and we released almost 4 or 5 more videos in collaboration with each other. was another addition to our family, if you would. And Akash basically emailed me this track, and he said, you know what, Ye Hausla was the track that we were at the time contemplating, and he said, Junita ki awaaz hai, what do you think, and everything else. And obviously it was a no-brainer. I heard the first time and I was like, wow, this is something else. And sure enough, we never met. We were at 3 different locations, completely geographically away from each other. Florida, Toronto. Well, Brampton and Toronto is not that far, but I had never heard of her.
Yeah.
She had never heard of me.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that worked out. That's probably.
It was meant to be. मैं ही कहने वाली थी.
आपकी बात सही है 100%.
क्योंकि आप अपने ही जैसे कि जुनीता वोकल्स में, आकाश पियानो में, आप फ्लूट में, सभी अपने इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स या वोकल्स में एक्सपर्ट्स हो.
जी.
So you created magic together, but I know you have also created magic with collaborations with many other artists as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
तो क्या आपकी future में Bollywood एक possibility है?
That's a good question you're asking. Obviously, all the questions you're asking are amazing questions. But देखिए, Bollywood का ऐसा है कि Bollywood में थोड़ा सा commitment जो है, that is required. You need to be, you need to be in the right time and space for it. Even though online collaborations are great and everything else, but Akash is in India right now, right? As he's actively working in the industry. So is Junita Gandhi, as you know, right? So I'm not there. However, there is a lot of stuff that I'm doing in terms of the international travel, whether it's live gigging or just recording otherwise, right? So if Bollywood is in my cards, it will happen. Once again,
well
it comes from there, right?
But I have to mention, you're too humble, Sahil. आपको ढूंढे आए थे कुछ बड़े stars, जैसे हमारे कर्श खेल साहब.
Yeah, Karsh Kale, you're right.
Sorry,
right.
Karsh Kale.
Yeah, Karsh Kale, yes. Yeah, I know, and that again, it's one thing led to the other. Karsh was performing at Royal Ontario Museum for one of the occasions, and he literally called me online, and he said, you know what, if you're gigging or if you have time available on this day, let's get together. And I had the biggest smile on my face. I will not lie. Karsh, if you're listening, my man, thank you. It was something else. Why? Because I had been following his music for a long time. So he approaching me, and then that materializing to a live gig with him, that was something else. So off and on, there is a lot of action that's going on. That has taken me to India more than a few times. Rather, there is something that is lined up for the next February. I might be there for some stuff. So off and on chalta hi rahega. So I'm not going to close any doors for me, I guess.
You mind playing something for us?
No, not at all, for sure. So आप कौन सा track सुनना पसंद करेंगे? What would you like to hear?
You know what? I like the track, Ashiki's track, Sun Raha Hai Tu. I know you have a cover out there.
Yes, I do have a cover of that as well. All right, so here we go. Wow, you took me to a state of bliss. That's amazing. Thank you.
लेकिन एक बात पूछूं,
जी जरूर।
यहाँ पर 2 फ्लूट्स है।
Yes.
What is the difference between that?
You know, आज मैं अपना पूरा सेट नहीं लेके आया हूँ। जो इंडियन फ्लूट या बांसुरी जो है वो एक्चुअली पूरे सेट में आती है। There are almost like 25-26 flutes.
Okay.
तो unlike English flute जिसमें एक नोट है E, for example, you know, या F कभी कभार, you know, and that's your note and that's it. You know, it fits into the choir and you have to start where you have to start and that's it, right? In terms of the fingering technique. Indian flute में क्या है कि every flute is actually another note. It is the bass note or the main note is actually a different note.
Whoa.
So अगर 25 flutes and every flute has a different note. F sharp, G sharp, so on and so forth, right? So it gives you a huge range. और बड़ी छोटी बांसुरी का ये है कि the bigger flutes are more bassier sounds, right? So more classical pieces and everything else, you'll see that they will use that. But just smaller flutes, they will be used more for folk, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
the intricate details, so nice.
Oh, there's a lot that goes into it. You know, when it comes to actually recording this and that, you know, it really gets technical.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do we get to hear a sample of that?
Sure.
Just how it sounds, I guess.
शौकत अमानत अली खान साहब की composition है, सावन भी तो जाए तेहरवा.
वाह.
Right?
Wow, I could listen to you for hours.
Thank you.
But I know viewers, we would like to hear more, but since we are not hearing it here, follow Sahil on www.sahilkhan.ca.
.com.
Sorry.
.com.
www.sahilkhan.com.
Yeah.
But I need to tell the viewers, आपकी जो इससे lung capacity है, इसका आप सही तरह से यूज़ करें even singing के लिए. I have heard you sing and I have also heard you play the shehnai. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you do that all?
Yeah, I think you know what, playing flute has allowed me to, you know, have that lung capacity, and shehnai actually is comparatively a very hard instrument when compared to playing flute in terms of the technique, in terms of the lung capacity and that, right? It's more physically demanding to play that instrument. So I play a lot of, North America wide. I do a lot of live shows, both for flute, obviously, and for shehnai as well. Obviously, the wedding industry in Canada is pretty vibrant.
Oh, yeah.
Huge appetite for classical instruments. Huge appetite for really culturally ingrained instruments, right? For example, shehnai. You know, I mean, the common denominator for most Hindu weddings, or most weddings for that matter, right? So that's that. And rahi baat singing ki, to you know, a lot of people don't know, but you know, every now so often, you know, I do you know, live singing as well.
And now everybody knows.
Now everybody knows. Yes.
So I'm sure, because I've heard you sing and you are as rocking at that as you're with this.
Thank you.
And उससे beyond भी
जी.
आपकी बहुत और चीज़ें हैं लाइफ में, like you are an artist, a singer,
Yes.
shehnai player, flute player.
Yeah.
But उसके अलावा, what do the viewers don't know about you, and how do you balance it all?
You know, I won't be telling you all the stuff that I do on the side. No,
He does a lot. He wears multiple hats.
No. I mean, I've always been a proponent of the fact that it is okay to do everything and do it well. You know, In India, back in the days, you know, लोग कहते थे कि you know, खेलोगे कूदोगे तो होगे खराब, पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो बनोगे नवाब. The point of the matter was कि you know, अगर आप पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो you know, you will have some high ranking title. You know, if you don't, then you know, खराब हो जाओगे. You know, अगर if you're playing and you're wasting your time per se, right? I think that phenomenon needed a tweak. And I really from day one believed that you know, you can do it all and do it well. You know, you have to, you know, manage your time well, you know, manage your expectations a little bit, you know, but otherwise you can do it all. So in line with which, you know, I never gave up, you know, my endeavors to position myself for education, for example. You know, I pursued my MBA and I pursued my CPA, CMA designation and all of that good stuff. And I work for the public sector as an internal auditor, and that's my left or right side of the brain, whatever.
Well, what I would say is using both sides of the brain and making us proud as South Asians, making a name for us, and it's amazing. Hats off to you for balancing it all out.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Sahil, today. And thank you for sharing your success story with us.
Thanks, Amitha, for having me on the show. It's a privilege.
And we wish you all the best with Flute Hypnosia.
So don't forget, check it out, SAHILKHAN.com. All my stuff is there. Sorry.
And YouTube channel
and YouTube,
too.
Yes. Luckily, actually, I kind of linked them up. So SAHILKHAN.com, just one-stop shop, and you have all where I am, what I'm doing, and all the new tracks, everything is there. So
there you go. That was Sahil Khan for us, जिन्होंने हमें दिखाया है कि अगर हम अपनी जोश को जिंदगी के सुर से मिलाएं, तो जिंदगी तो बदल ही जाएगी. That's a wrap for this week. Thank you for watching us. For updates, follow us on Facebook or Twitter, and I would love to hear from you. So write to me at VJ Amitha spotlight@gmail.com. This is Amitha signing off until next week, but encouraging you to follow your passion to your own spotlight.